Hey, good morning to everybody. Happy Thursday. It's Daryl here. It is bright and freaking early, man. You know it. It's 3:30 a.m. on the dot here in Connecticut on the East Coast. Okay, I came across another video, more footage from Tekashi 6ix9ine and the Florida gym. This is the actual assailants entering the gym. Yeah, I did not check yesterday's video yet. When I do a video the next day, I usually don't go back and check the comments or the views or any of that until after I do today's video. I don't check it like the day before's video because I get off track. I start reading the comments, and then I'll end up doing a video about the comments instead of what I was going to do the video about. Okay, there's more video that came out of the assailants entering the gym in Florida. And I rewatched the whole thing, including the pummeling that Tekashi took. And you know what? If you watch my channel, I've talked about this before, the life I led before I got clean and sober, the first 40 years of my life. And I didn't even remember until I rewatched the video of Tekashi actually getting hit that it occurred to me as like, this did happen to me. I do remember getting in a similar situation. I'm going to talk about that. As I watched the video, a lot of things, like I'm going to download a video. I have this video all made already. It's about MMA and the UFC and why I don't watch it. It's because of all the incidents in my life. Like right now, I could feel the adrenaline in my hands, just remembering the stuff that I've been through before. I'm going to do a video talking about all that. I promise you that will be the next video I download today. That's going to be about MMA and the UFC and why I don't watch it. Okay, this video now, this is on TMZ. The link will be right down below. It's the front of the gym, the reception area, the front doors, and you'll see one man on the phone, and he's kind of pacing back and forth, talking on the phone. And he's obviously talking to the next man who then enters. As the next guy enters, you see the guy put down the phone and start talking to him in person. So there's no doubt here he was calling up it looks like his brother. These guys look like twins. These guys look like bouncers straight out of a movie. Shaved heads, beards. I would walk the other way. Honestly, I'm a big guy and everything, but I would avoid these guys. Yesterday, I only saw 2 guys in the video. That's all I said because that's all I saw. But apparently there was 5 guys. It looks like there was 2 at the door and basically 3. I'm going to talk about this too. I've talked about this before when interacting. When I used to be into altercations with more than one person, how it always played out. I'll talk about that in a second. Anyway, they make a beeline. Like I said, the TMZ story and the video is going to be right down below, so you can watch it yourselves and see what TMZ says about it, because what they say is pretty much similar to what I'm going to say. But having been in these situations myself, I got some other observations that the TMZ, not having been, and I watch TMZ. I watch these 2 guys talk about this, and they talk about getting his butt mopped and getting this beat. And I watch these guys, and I guarantee these guys have probably never caught a punch or thrown one in their life. And it's sometimes it's so easy to tell. The people that use the most descriptive, tough language a lot of times are the people that have never encountered it before. A lot of times, if you have lived that life and been in that life, you just don't. You don't want to talk about it. You try not to talk about it. You don't use descriptive words. It's all right here. You don't do that. Anyway, they make a straight beeline to, so it kind of looks like, and then you listen. I listened to the vocals, the audio again, and he says he's telling Tekashi, this is what you should be doing videos about, him getting his beat down. Boozy badass. I hope I can say that here. And a couple other people. I'm gonna put that link down below too. There's some other rappers that are like applauding and saying they should start a GoFundMe account, not for Tekashi, but for the guys that assaulted him, for the real ones. I don't agree with that either, but okay, let me talk about this. If you watch the video, the first thing I noticed, they said there's 5 guys, and I've always talked about this. Whenever I've gotten in scraps, and there's more than one guy. What I've always seen is there's always going to be a leader. There's always going to be an alpha and then a beta, the first and second. In my opinion, those are the guys that you have to deal with first. That they're going to come at you, that you got to deal with first. Then there's going to be what I call like the coyotes that just come in for the scraps after or that stand in the back. And if you watch this video, you'll see two guys standing at the door. You'll see mainly these two guys taking part in it, and the third one, who had a gold necklace, and he's walking down the hall behind these two bald, movie-looking bouncer guys. I'm guessing he might even be the ringleader. I don't know. This is just from my own experience. As I was watching this, there's a few things that came to mind. The first thing that I realized is that I had been in this exact situation. In my situation, there was only one guy. I'll tell you about that. First of all, I'd been drinking, of course, and using all night, and I drove past one of my good buddies' homes, his mom's home. He lived at home with his mother. This is back when I was in my 20s. And I saw my girlfriend's car at his house. Okay. So I just stopped my car in the middle of the street. I went over, and my adrenaline, this is what I'm talking about, my arms just went numb. I just blacked out. And first thing I did is I kicked a hole in his garage. I got very long legs. I'm a tall guy, and I used to use my legs in these kind of altercations. And I kicked the hole in the garage, and he came out. It was only him. Now this guy, there was only one guy, but I had been drinking a lot, and I wasn't balanced. And we were out in the road, and he's trying to tell me, I'm going after him. What are you doing with my girl? And I'm throwing some swings, and I'm kicking at him. I kick from the side, drive with my heel into the solar plexus or the throat. But I was sloppy, and I had been drinking. And this guy was my friend, and I found out later there was nothing going on between them. They were friends before I even knew either one of them. So I was wrong right there. And he's saying, Daryl, don't do this. And I kept swearing at him and throwing swings, and I was sloppy, and I was throwing kicks, and he realized what I was doing, and I went to throw a kick, and he caught my heel. So I'm standing on one foot now, pretty drunk, and he just walks me back. I'm hopping on the one foot, and I realized I am now screwed. He flipped me back. I landed on my back, and it was over. And this guy was about 3-4 inches shorter than me, probably about 80 pounds lighter. So he had to take full advantage. I would have done the same thing if I were him. He had to take full advantage of me being on the ground there. And he just used my head like a soccer ball. I still remember this. It was just bam, bam, bam. And my head I felt like, and I remember hearing myself say these words, please stop. And my head was just going boom, and this is just one guy. Let me tell you this. A kick is not like a punch. I've talked about, getting punched. It's not that bad. It sucks, but you get by it. You get numb. You see stars. You get the adrenaline in the blood, taste in your mouth. But you come back. You can, it's really compared to a kick. It's a mosquito bite, really, because a kick is a whole different animal, man. When you get kicked, you lose consciousness quick. I can't even, the muscles in your leg compared to the muscles in your arms, plus the footwear. It is nothing like getting hit with a fist. He eventually stopped once I probably lost consciousness. I got back in my car, apparently, that was parked in the middle of the road. The cars were stopping, beeping. I drove away before the police got there. Apparently, I passed out right in front of I made it to my home, I guess. I woke up at the hospital. They found me in the front yard of my house. Car still running in the middle of the road and drive. And I had a concussion, lacerations and stuff. And this was just one guy, smaller than me. So, apparently Tekashi was hurt badly. I think he's still in the hospital from this. One thing I noticed while he was being assaulted is there's one moment in this video that I just cringe. When Tekashi's on his back and he's covering his face, his head, but his legs open wide up. And I just like, I go like this when I see this. The guy's standing right, looking down at him. And because this is what I'm talking about, I think this is the way I reason it is, Tekashi. Your first instinct, because these kicks to the head are just, I can't even tell you. It's you're getting damaged. That's the only way I could put it. And I don't think he was probably even aware that he was leaving his man parts like wide open. I started thinking about this too, and most men, I don't think, would take advantage of that situation and drill a foot into the jewels, so to speak. I don't know if I could, to be honest with you. No matter how much I don't know if I could do it. Maybe if it was life or death, but I don't. One man doing that to another, I think there's really too much empathy there. Where I don't know if one man can do that. You know what I'm saying? Because he had his legs. Tekashi rolls over and his legs are just wide open, and he's wearing those bicycle shorts, and his unit is just fully exposed to this guy with boots, and it just makes me cringe, man. I think this speaks to like I said, to how much the infliction of damage that's going on in the head that you don't even realize the rest of your body. I'm going to talk more about this. Like I said, I didn't even remember this incident. Oh, let me finish this incident. Anyway, so the next day, this guy was one of my best friends, and I knew I was wrong. I caught a beat down from him, and I called him up, and I invited him for a beer the next day, and I apologized to him, and everything was all right. But me and him have never been the same. This was 35 years ago. He's living in Florida now, and we were very good friends. I wouldn't say best friends, but very good friends. And that changed everything, from his point of view, from my point of view. This is another reason too. I've talked about losing fights and how I almost hate it more than winning. I still remember the first and last name of every guy that I won a fight, that I won over. And you live your life looking over your shoulder. I still remember the guy that broke my nose. I know his full name. I know where he lives right now, and I guarantee you I could walk up to him and he would have no idea who I am. And I still remember, this is the guy that broke my nose and my eye bones. Like I ran out. I did a video about this a little ways back. I ran out, chased him out of the building, and I ran into his half circle of his friends, and I just got pummeled. And I still remember his name right now. I know I see him on Facebook, and he has no idea who I am. And this is why I don't like fighting, and I don't particularly care for winning, because you have to look over your shoulder your entire life. It doesn't feel good hurting somebody. It almost feels worse to me hurting somebody than getting hurt myself. All right, I'm going to put out that video about MMA and UFC and why I choose not to watch it. It's because of memories, like I just told you guys. The links are all down below. You guys have a great Thursday.